People would come in my office and they'd be like, oh, my back hurts. And I'm like, what do you need? Really quick disclaimer before we begin this video. I am not a physical therapist. I'm not a doctor. I do not know anything about spine or back injuries besides my own, which I don't even know that much about that. Any tool you see in this, I've bought online. It's available to the public. Maybe talk to your doctor first and see if they think it would work for you. These are all just stuff that I bought that I personally think helped me. Please don't sue me if you try any of these and they make your back worse. After buying all these and going to the doctor so many times, I don't have any money anyway. Please don't skip the ads on this video either. Subscribe, let's go. Welcome back to the Lils channel. If you're new here, I'm Lily, Lils. You guys have been requesting for quite some time, after I've been complaining for quite some time about all of my back problems, that you wanted to see all of the tools that I use to help relieve said back problems. I have 3 herniated discs in my neck. I've always had a lot of back problems / neck problems, like for the last 6 or 7 years. The herniated disc recently came because on our way back from a shoot at Clever when we went to the LA County Fair, we got hit on the freeway going about 80. We were going like 65. Hiccup, little hiccup! We almost died. Aaron was driving, I was in the passenger seat, and then Lauren and Naz were also in the car. We tried to change lanes and some asshole was speeding up the side, and basically Aaron tried to get back out of the way. He hit the back right corner of our car. Naz was definitely the closest to impact. It could have been a much worse accident than it was, but also Aaron's car was just super safe. Quick little insert. It's been hours, I'm just editing it right now. I'm the only one that experienced pain from this accident. Everyone else still feels fine. As I said, Naz was closest to impact. No one else knew, even Aaron knew it was coming because she saw the guy speeding towards her. I was the only one kind of looking at when he was approaching. So you know when you look at a car and you tense up and that's they say you can get injured more if your body tenses up than if you were just that's why a lot of drunk drivers end up not getting injured, because their bodies are kind of just I knew it was coming and I was kind of braced for impact a little bit, and since I already have so many prior back issues, this was what pushed it over the edge. Long story short, after having a lot of back problems before that, but they were always muscular issues. After the car accident, I think 2 weeks went by, and then I started getting this weird burning sensation, and it was around the same place where my muscle pain always is. I don't even know how to describe it. A mix between kind of almost a crunching, you feel stuff is grinding into each other, your neck is shoved down into your body and you just want someone to yank it out. I'm also someone that holds all of my stress in my shoulder, so that does not help. But this burning sensation started, and I remember telling my mom, I was this is not the normal pain I'm used to, something is wrong. I kind of had forgotten about the car accident at this point, and I went to the acupuncturist, I got a massage, I went to the chiropractors that I normally do. This time I was going places and I was leaving crying because I was in just as much pain, if not more pain, than when I got there, and all of the doctors are kind of I'm sorry, I don't really know what to tell you until I go to the chiropractor. And he was I'm sorry, I can't adjust you anymore, everything's too inflamed, everything's too tight. So he prescribed me an MRI, which I got 2 days later. After that, I went back to the chiropractor and he read the MRI, which showed me that I had the 3 herniated discs. Insert a little part here too. When I went to the chiropractor, he just kept being what would you have done? And I was well, I did get in that car accident. And he's what car accident? I had never told him because I literally forgot. It didn't seem like a big deal. And even the days after the accident, when everyone was oh, are you sore? I mean, I'm always sore, so that wasn't really an easy question to answer. 2 days go by and it's how's your back feeling? I'm fucking hurts, but it always hurts. So I had to go make an appointment with an orthopedic surgeon to then get prescribed physical therapy. Sometimes if herniated discs are bad enough, you can get surgery to fix them. There's a certain millimeter amount that it needs to be off, and I guess mine was at 4 millimeters and it needs to be around 10 millimeters to be worth getting surgery for. There's steroid shots they can give you, which I did get, muscle relaxers, painkillers, Norcos to go to sleep. Nothing did anything because it's not muscle pain, it's nerve pain. You could probably take a lot of painkillers, but then you're gonna be unconscious, and also don't want to take painkillers every day. I do find it very ironic how quick doctors are to be here are the pain meds, here are your muscle relaxers, all of which are addicting. But no one seemed to mention that if you just use CBD, this is literally a menthol roll-on. The brand is CBD Living, and it's basically how an icy hot would make your skin cold first, but then it just doesn't get hot after. One night I was literally, I don't even know how to describe it, because it wasn't if I've cried from it, it's not some shooting pain. It's just when a doctor asks you if it's oh, what's your pain? Is it a 1 or a 10? I'd say mine was a 3 to a 4, but it was a 3 to a 4 that never goes away. So it's not some days it's a 0 and some days it's a 4. It was always a 4, which then makes it feel an 8 after a while, because you just start to go insane. Literally after crying, feeling just helpless, I put this on. I didn't even notice, 5 minutes went by and I was oh my God, it doesn't hurt anymore. This is the most amazing thing that's ever happened. Feels like, oh, rubbing something on top's not gonna get into like my spinal nerve pain. Very wrong, don't know how it works, don't care how it works. $30, you can order it, it's legal. CBD is part of marijuana, for all of you that don't know, but it does not have any psychoactive properties. Unfortunately, it only gives you relief for like 20 minutes max, so it's not like it's gonna be like, oh, use it once in the morning and then it's great. I've tried the patches, I didn't feel like they were quite as effective as this. Between this, my massagers, and like just like Advil to make sure the inflammation stays down, and going to physical therapy twice a week for the last 2.5 months, and all of this other stuff, I'm finally feeling better. This is called the Neck Zen, and it's basically a cervical neck stretcher. So this used to be like my saving grace when I first got it. Lisa, why are you laughing?
He said cervical.
Lisa's laughing because she
Sounds
thinks
like-
that it's like cervix, like
It
vagina.
sounds like that.
Basically, your neck is holding up your head all day long. How heavy is your head? Isn't that a quote in a movie?
Human head weighs 8 pounds.
Do you know the human head weighs 8 pounds?
My neck is especially tired. This little tool works best on like a flat ground, not the couch, but I'm just showing you on the couch. It just takes all of the pressure off of your neck and lets you just relax. It is made of plastic and foam, so I would say it's lost a little bit of its sturdiness. It was at a point that like, this is the only position that it would make it stop hurting, is if there's no pressure on my neck at all. I have another tool that I'm gonna show in a little. But before we move this location, my apartment is not very conducive for showing a lot of back tools. This one is called the BACKPOD. I don't even know if it was really helping what my overall problem was, but it was giving me a lot of relief at the time. You lay down, basically in between your shoulder blades, and it essentially kind of like de-hunches you. So if you have a really bad slouch or you've been on the computer a lot, take this little BACKPOD, which is like, what would you say that is? Silicone? Hard, but like a little squishy. Kind of bends your spine the opposite way. I feel like this is a very uncomfortable video because I'm just making a lot of weird moaning noises. Right now, it's not the usual pain, it's just like a sore muscle, but it's like up here. Well, these two little guys. Get in here. I think we've tried something like this on Beauty Break too.
Just doing a nice
Using
detail.
this as like a hair tie.
It's like a DIY thing.
Yeah, don't I look great?
And it also has heat and vibration. Oh my God, this feels so good. Why didn't I do this earlier?
Just like the wrist holders.
Do you like, feel like a T-Rex? And a big head, little arms.
Sometimes we reference that clip.
I know. I like this, but personally it doesn't give me that much relief unless I'm actually just like sore. This is like getting a massage. It's like a robot massage.
Ooh, they're red. Look at that.
They're red when it's heated up. It won't turn off. It's like a Chucky doll. For me, a lot of the time, it's not even that I need it to be like massaged. I literally would love if someone could just like take their elbow and just like dig it in and just put pressure on it. This does exactly that. You could do it up here. Is your lower back sore? It's like super flexible. It does not break. You know, people will say like put 2 tennis balls in a sock and like have it roll up and down your back. Tennis balls have either like popped or like lacrosse balls are a little too hard. These are squishy and they're small. You can literally like dig it into those muscles along your spine and then lean back into something and it just feels so good. This one's probably the one I use most on a daily basis. Okay. This is better, I think, if you're like working out a lot and you need like muscle recovery rather than if you're like injured. I know it seems aggressive, and I know there's gonna be a lot of sexual jokes. I don't get the sexual jokes because I don't want this anywhere near my vagina. This is called the THERACANE, and you might have seen me advertise this on Instagram before, but don't worry, they didn't even pay me. They gave me one, but they did not pay me to advertise this. It is so amazing, and you can just massage anything. So I'm not allowed to use it before 8 a.m. and after 9 p.m. for common courtesy because of my neighbors, because my walls are so thin and it is so loud. I personally like to do it in my chest area because after I'm sitting on the computer all day and I'm hunched, this all gets tight. And you get to decide how much pressure, so it's like, if you want to like really get in there, literally like 10 massages in 5 minutes.
Oh, it was so hard. It made your voice go, when you're talking.
On my neck, near my head. It's a little aggressive for some people. Feels so good. So I will say that this is very expensive. It is $600 as far as I know, unless the price has gone down. I'm pretty sure they have a different one now that's like a slightly different shape. This is like the first edition, so maybe it's a little cheaper. If you do want a cheaper alternative, I know Hyperice makes one, and it's also like not even remotely as loud. My chiropractor has it. I do recommend this a lot if you can afford it because it's amazing. This actually we got on Beauty Break for, I think it was Shark Tank products. The more you know. I'll basically get a muscle spasm. I'll have one spot where it feels like it's coming from, and if I can press into that, then everything else feels better. But realistically, you can't just like have someone pressing into that all the time. But if you've seen me in, I feel like the last like 6 months of Clever videos, that I'm carrying this around or this around, because obviously I have two colors. I think I like the handles better. We'd be sitting in meetings and I just have it digging into my back at all times. After a while, you can't just stay home from work every day, so had to find things that work for me, and this was one of them. Usually I would keep one in my car, one at work, and one at home. I do have 3. This isn't like a back pain helper, but we got the weighted blanket for beauty break for like a pillows, and I don't know, I just wanted it, to be honest. And not only does it make me sleep way better for my back and neck pain, it's best if I sleep on my back. I get a lot of my anxiety when I'm sleeping, and when I wake up in the morning, I'm really tense. So this is a 25-pound weighted blanket, and I fall asleep within 15 minutes usually now. And what I do is I literally go under it, and then this is not a good pillow example, but like I get my pillow and I kind of wad it up just under my neck. So it's like my head is almost like hanging off the back. And then I get under my weighted blanket and I put my arms down and I sleep like this. And I wake up and I have not moved, you guys. I think a lot of my pain is exacerbated by my anxiety, and I think that this blanket helps with my anxiety, which then helps with my pain. So this next one is something that literally was like the only way I was able to work, I think, the last few months at Clever, like when this first started happening, because I was just laying on the floor of my apartment and I would do most of my work from home. And everyone would be like, oh, how are you working? Well, funny you ask. This, I believe, was $25. And it is an adjustable desk that you can use in bed or basically anywhere. It has these little legs that you can adjust to different angles, and it has the angle on it so then you can match it to the other side. And then you take your laptop, and it has like a little lip on the edge so then it doesn't fall on top of you. Sometimes it still does, so you have to be careful. It is actually one of the most amazing things in the entire world. Even better, sometimes I don't want to just be laying down. So you can even now suddenly I can sit on the ground as well. Also, good thing about this is if I did want a standing desk, you can also put it on top of a normal desk, and I'm still sitting right now, but you get the point. Everything else has been like a pain relief method, but this I feel like has actually been helping me get better. Also physical therapy and like stretching and actually doing the stuff I'm supposed to. But this is called the neck hammock. Unfortunately, I don't have a whole lot of doors in my apartment, and they aren't really places we can show you. I'm gonna use my front door for now, which is not usually where I do it. But this is like a bungee cord, and then it comes with this little loop that you literally just slide around the outside and the other side of the door. Then you take the side that you want like the cushions that actually be cushioning you, and move a little further away and position it right under like the top of your neck, like base of your skull. And then I can go as far away as I want to adjust how much it's pulling. But just like the cervical one I showed you earlier, it's taking all of the pressure off of your neck from holding your head up, and it just has your neck in a little hammock. So you'll see there's literally space between, like my head is just lounging here. The best feeling is if someone's literally pulling my head away from my body. So if I want that, get further away and then decide how strong you want the stretch. So now it feels like someone's literally, oh my God. This is something that if I'm experiencing pain, usually from editing, 10 minutes, and not only do I like want to go to sleep while I'm laying in it, but it will make the pain 100% go away. But this is hands down my favorite thing in the world. My one recommendation would be if you do not live alone, be very, very careful about using that, because the last thing you want is to be laying and getting your neck traction on and then someone open the door into your head. It would end very, very badly. I forgot, I wasn't even gonna include this one tool, but it's another traction thing and it just looks a little funny. And I think we've tried something like this on Beauty Break too. I feel like
That was fun.
and at the time I didn't know what it was for, and now I'm like, so helpful. This one helps me with my nerve pain because it takes the pressure off of the spinal cord. I also think this one has a hole in it, so it takes longer to fill up. It does give you like a little bit of a lightheaded feeling, so I wouldn't recommend you do it too long. One of the smallest and probably cheapest things. Most of these are things that I bought to help me with editing, but this is just a posture harness. They come in a million different kinds, I'm sure. It's a little difficult to do with that on as well, and with hoods. Kind of looks like I'm wearing a backpack. So it's like right now, I can still be like that posture, like, oh my God.
Just wearing the backpack strap.
Adjust it. Go. So even if I wanted to slouch right now, like this is the most I could slouch. So it's not super comfortable to wear all the time, and you don't want to rely on it because then you won't train your muscles to do it themselves. But I feel like especially if I've been doing it for a very long time and I kind of need to remind myself, I've edited for like 18 to 20 hours straight because I got too into it, so it's nice to have reminders. This is a foam roller, which I'm sure most of you are familiar with. I like this kind because it's hollow. Most foam rollers are made of foam roller. If you use it for a long period of time, it kind of breaks down. I remember we used to have one back in our old office at Clever in Hollywood. His name was Fred, and Fred got like deflated. This was a gift from Dana. After Fred died. So foam rollers are good for stretching out your muscles, and I'm no like sports medicine expert or back expert or anything, but I personally like to get my back cracked a lot, and that's what I use it most for. It's also like good for like after you work out, you're supposed to foam roll like these muscles, but it hurts really bad and it's not fun to do. What is fun, get a little closer. A little closer. I feel like they were quieter.
A little bit, but it's hard because there's also a squeaking on the floor.
This is a vibrating foam roller. I will say it hasn't helped me as much as I hope, but like if you had really tight muscles that you were trying to like roll through, vibration is going to help you a little bit as well. Also, don't like to use this one in my apartment that much because this is the low setting, but so I try to not use it that much, but I have before when I'm really sore. I have one more thing and then we're done. And lastly, this isn't something that's like a neck accessory or a back accessory by any stretch. I've been trying to get the most ergonomic setup possible because I can't just not edit, that's my job. I found this thing that exists that hooks to the bottom of your desk, or it connects to the arm of your chair. A little screw that tightens up against the table, so that's how it keeps it on. So all you do to install it, slide this on, and then screw it on. So it forces me to keep my arm at a 90-degree angle, which normally I feel like when I'm editing, I do a lot of this, and that makes, I found major relief. Just like notice that I also have this raised because it needs to be within eye level, because if you're looking down, that's more pressure on your neck. As you can see, I spend a lot of time researching things to help my back. Luckily, it's finally feeling better, so I've stopped researching all this. And I think I just bought everything that's actually available. If you're experiencing chronic pain, I am so sorry. For the last 3 months, I do not know how to describe how just like hopeless it is to just like have something that hurts, but like no one else can tell if it hurts. And then if you don't act like it's like constantly hurting, then people immediately think you're better again, or they're like, what do you mean you have back problems? You always look so happy. Well, if I was sad all the time, would anyone want to hang out with me? Don't think so. I'm lucky that mine, one, seems like it's getting better, and two, has affected my quality of life, but I'm still able to do things and like figure out what works for me. There's some people that like literally can't even get out of bed. So I'd recommend, if you are going through this and you're like struggling, find other people that maybe are going through it too, because it's really nice to have someone to talk to about it. Shout out to Kelsey Dara, because she has been like my pain friend for the last few weeks. She also has a lot of chronic pain issues, and you feel crazy after a while because you're like, oh my God, this is never gonna go away and I just have to live with it. And it's nice to talk to someone that's like, I get it. Anyway, I've rambled for a while now. Hope you enjoyed this video. Hope that you can buy any of these things and that they help you. And I hope you feel better if you're in pain. Okay. Thank you for being here today.